Now, to look at one more thing here, and that is the constructor. Now, remember that all these have a constructor in there. So, and we know what happens. The constructor is run immediately. We load our, immediately we create an instance. So now in this case, for example, we are extending, this one is extended by this, and then it's extended by that. So which constructor is running here when I create an instance of user? So I'm not creating, if you know very well, once we create an instance, this is during the creation of an instance, that's when the constructor runs. So if we do this now here, if I just say function construct like this, okay? So if I look at this, I'm going to, let me just echo and say user constructor like this. So let me put that break tag there. Okay, so user constructor there. So I expect this to run because I'm actually instantiating user. So this should be normal. So I will remove the do stuff there. I just want to deal with the instance. So let's come back here and read. And you see the user constructor ran. So no surprises there, right? But imagine we copy this. Let's copy this to the parent of this one, right? So let's see whether this constructor also runs. So this is a product constructor, yes? Product constructor. So when we run this, look what happens. The user constructor runs, but we do not get this one. So let me copy this again and put it here. And this one is the database constructor, right? So let's see which of those run. So when I refresh, you see that only the user constructor ran, okay? Only this one ran. These constructors did not. So we just extended their functionality here. But there's a twist here that you have to pay attention to. So imagine in here I have a static class, right? I have a static number. Let's say static property. This is just a number which is equal to 0. Okay. Now this is static public. So it's public, so we can inherit it, or it can be protected. Same thing, no difference here. So static public number, right, equal to 0. Now what I want to do is, during the construct of my user, this last one, the extended, I want to add to this number. So let me try that. Let me come here. So in this constructor, I will do this. I will say this. Now, I cannot use this on that one because it's a static variable. If you remember very well, static variables we use, what is the keyword we use? Self. That's the one we use. So we'll say self number like this. So instead of 0, I will make it equal to 10, right? So static self is equal to 10. So, okay, good. And then we leave the constructor to run so we can see that we actually passed through here. But what I want to do is to echo this number right here, outside here. So I will say me ... like that and say number like this. So I want to echo the number. Now I don't have to use me, I can use user here because that's the class I'm getting here. This is the one I want to run. Now the thing is this, keep in mind that this is a static variable, which is here at the very top. Okay, so once I change a static variable, when I try to echo it in a static way, it's going to keep its state. So let's try this here. Let me come back and refresh. And what you see now is that the number is equal to 10. Now, come back here for a second and look at what happened here. So we declared it as being equal to 0. Okay, that's quite fine. But then here we set it to 10. Now, if I don't set it to 10, let me mute that for a second. Excuse me, and we refresh. You see that it's equal to 0. Okay. Now, the static, like I told you before, static edits the class itself. Okay. So even the instances that come after that will contain the new and changed variable. So in this case, what's happening is that I instantiate this class, this one right here. And then because during instantiation, you get to run the construct function. So once that runs, I set the static number to 10. I change it from 0, which it is, to 10. And then we'll run this because it's part of the same function. And then, so this all happens in this line. But then if I try to echo it, obviously because it maintains its state, I'm going to find that it's equal to 10. So I hope this is understood clearly here. Okay, but here's the strange part here. So what's happening now is that you see in all these constructors, there's this echo product construct, echo database construct, but we don't see all those. So meaning these constructors are not running, right? So let's see if we change this number in one of these constructors. Let's see what happens. So I'll copy this and I want to change the number here. So now instead of equating it to 10, right, I'm going to add 10 to it, whatever number it is at the time. I'm just going to add 10 to it. Same thing here, I will add 10 to it. So what do you think the result will be? Looking at the logic so far, you see that it's equal to 10 still. That is because none of these have actually run. Okay, so let's try now, and let me put this right inside this one as well. Okay, add 10 to it. Okay, then what I will do now is I want to instantiate this one, product, and not user, just the second one. So let's see what we get from there. So product, and then let's echo, instead of user, we're going to echo product number, like this. So refresh, and we see only the product constructor actually runs. Okay, so I think it's making sense so far. You can see what's happening. So once you extend, only when you instantiate a class do you get that change. So let's try and create new instances of all these down here. Okay, actually before we do that, what I want to do is this. So now what if you want this constructor to also run? So you want this constructor to run because, let's say for example, when connecting the database, okay, you are using the constructor for the database to add the details to the database. Let's say the host name, the password, all that stuff. You are using this constructor. Now, as you have seen, this constructor doesn't run once you instantiate the inherited version of the class. Okay, so I've instantiated new product, which is this one, but only its constructor has run. This one did not run. So what would I do if I want this to also run as well? Okay, so there's a keyword called parent. So far we've been looking at self, right? Self means the class itself, but there's also a keyword called parent, which will deal with the parent. So for example, if I use parent in here, it won't make sense because this class is not extending any class at all. But if I use parent in here, it makes sense because now I have a parent because I'm extending. This one also has a parent, which is this one. So what I want to do here is inside products here, I want to activate this constructor there. So I can do it actually right here. So I will do this. I will say parent dot dot construct. So you call it in a static format like this. Now keep in mind we're using this dash dash because this is the name of the function itself. So if you wanted to run another function inside the parent here, you would put that name there and it would run. So now we are running the constructor for the parent, and then we are running our own constructor here, and then we are adding the number here. So this number should be equal to 20 because we'll run this, and then we'll run that, and then we'll try to check what the number is. So let's see if we are right. So I will refresh. And now you see that the database constructor has also run, the product constructor has run, and then we have 20 to that static value. Okay, so same thing here. If I wanted the parent of this one to run, I would do this, copy, and put that there, like this. Okay, so now if I instantiate this class, it will run the parent for this one, and this also will run that constructor and run the other parent. So there will be a cascading of parent running, or constructor running there rather. So let me use user here. Now if I check what the number is with product, I'm going to find that it's still 20, I think. Let me refresh. Oh, it has actually changed to 30. So looky there. So we've run the database constructor, we've run the product constructor, we've run the user constructor, and then we are checking to see if the value has changed, and it has, which is this one here. So you would think that if you're reading the product version of this here, that by now the number will only be 20 because we've added 10 to it, and then we've added 10 here. So that makes 20. But in actual fact, what's happening is that because we're instantiating this class, this constructor will also run before we read from the value. Okay, so this number is static, which means it's the same for all the classes that are extending this database class. So if I add to it, and check in the database here class, I'll find that this number has also changed because it's the same for all of them who are inheriting it, and so on. So I hope you have learned something about inheritance here, and it wasn't too complicated. The things you have to take away from this are the following. Number one, what you should learn is that you can inherit properties of one class, properties and methods of one class by using the extends keyword. So once you extend, you can get the properties and the functions. And the second thing is that the private stuff, it's the same. If I say private, if I use private on this, I cannot access it in the child. So anything that is private in the parent cannot be accessed in the children. That's the second thing to keep in mind. And the third thing is that only the final constructor runs when you have extends like this. When you extend, you can extend as many times as you want, but only the last constructor will run. The constructor of the thing you are instantiating, of the class you are instantiating, that's the only one that will run. And then you can use parent to run the constructors of the others above it. Okay, so I hope you have learned something, and we will continue in the next video.